I'd like to call the Finance Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please. Oh, hang on, sorry. Like to recognize the August 2018 Employee of the Month, Miss Teresa Acree.
Yeah, she works for us here at City Hall. She does a great job and has been a very, very pleasant addition to our team over the last year and a half, and does her job efficiently and well, and we're very happy to honor her. And she's not been able to be here today, but we wanted to acknowledge her as Employee of the Month.
Thank you, Miss Acree, for your service. Agenda item 1.
Consider approval of Finance Committee minutes of July the 16th, 2018.
Any corrections or changes?
Move the approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston,
Yes.
Patrick Hale,
Yes.
Wayne Johnson,
Yes.
Ivory Van,
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes. That was quick and easy. Item number 2.
Consider approval of claims for all city departments July 11th, 2018 through August 1st, 2018.
Any changes or corrections? Discussions, anything about it?
We didn't have a quorum for the Finance Committee, but I do appreciate staff bringing in, I did have a couple of questions, and I do appreciate staff bringing in the answers to those questions, and I would recommend approval.
Looks like they made some good decisions.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Hale.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes. Item number 3.
Consider approval of the purchase of 2 M6 131 DTCF Kubota four-wheel drive cab tractors from Kubota Stewart Martin in the total amount of $149,436 per state contract, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Riley.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and committee. This is a budgeted item for this year. 2 new tractors, much higher horsepower. We've consulted with the people that are mowing the turnpike and the bigger contractors, and with our Schulte brush hogs we bought last year, and these mowers will be able to move a lot faster in our mowing efforts. This was budgeted, and the actual state contract with Kubota Stewart Martin price is lower than budget, and we recommend approval.
Anyone have any questions? Entertain a motion.
Move the approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Hale.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes. Item number 4.
Consider approval to make application for the 2018 Justice Assistant Grant, as well as enter into an agreement between the City of Muskogee and the Board of Commissioners of Muskogee County for the disbursement of the funds, with the city receiving an allocation of $18,290.50 and the county receiving an allocation of $18,290.50 for a total award amount of $36,581, or take other necessary action.
Our brand new chief, Johnny Teehee.
Good evening. This is just the JAG grant that we've had for several years. We've been currently using it for replacement of computers in the cars, and we'll continue to do that.
Anybody have any questions? Entertain a motion.
Move the approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Hale.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes. Agenda 5.
Consider approval to renew the funding agreement for local, state, and sovereign government entities to provide services between the city and the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality for a program called the Elysium Project, or take other necessary action.
Chief Teehee, you could have waited there for us.
Not sure what the process is yet about to do this. The Elysium Project is, you should have the information on it. Basically, it's something that Officer Garner works with. It's a $42,000 grant to the Department of Environmental Control, and basically they use that money, those monies, for cleaning, waste equipment to do those cleaning, and for overtime if it was necessary. It's just something that we've had in the past, and it's just a renewal of that.
Any question for Chief Teehee?
I got a question that may be out of order. How did the popsicle program go the other day?
It went very well. We've actually we've gotten so much interest in it once we started going social media with it that we've gotten, I think, currently about $250 donated from people to help buy popsicles because the officers were buying those out of their own pocket. So we're kind of putting a little saying, you know, the popsicles today thanks to such and such, and so we think that may help generate the future purchase of more popsicles. But
Okay, are we out money with officers right now?
no, we're
Okay.
good.
Well, what a wonderful program.
Thank you.
Any other questions pertaining to the agenda item?
Move the approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston,
Yes.
Patrick Kale,
Thank you, Dan. Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes, and no one's signed up to speak to me today, so that's all we have.
Do we need to do a formal excusing of the folks?
Not on
No?
this.
Okay.
Only required for city council, regular meetings.
Thank you.
We'll now go ahead and call Public Works Committee meeting of August 6th to order tonight. Item number 1.
Consider approval of Public Works Committee minutes of July 16, 2018.
Do we have any clarifications on the minutes?
Move for approval.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston,
Yes.
Patrick Kale,
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Item passes. Item number 2.
Consider approval of awarding the construction contract to the low bidder, APAC Central, for the Mill and Overlay 2018 project in the amount of $268,540, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Riley.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and committee, this is the northwest zone of this, last year's work for overlays. And the streets being overlaid are listed. Most of them are close to MLK. These were streets that the actual project did some damage to them, and we're going to correct that in the future and not let contractors use every street in the area. But this area is where we're focusing these overlays. APAC, if you don't know, is a new contractor in the area, bought out another contractor here, and we got very, very low bids for this. We're very pleased with the bids, and we recommend approval.
Mr. Riley, this is for work going forward, right? This is not, are they ongoing? Because I noticed that some of the streets in that area are being overlaid and it's looking pretty nice. I didn't-
We're also, with our crews, doing some chip and seal work and overlay work. That's our crews in that same zone.
Same zone. Move for approval.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Any other questions for Mr. Riley? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Item passes. Item number 3.
Consider approval of a pipeline license number 18-60429 between BNSF Railway Company and the City of Muskogee, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Riley.
This is a rail line where we have a water line that's leaking under the line, and they won't let us fix it until we have a permit from them. So this is the agreement with the railroad so that we can repair the leak to the water line.
Not a simple process.
Not at all.
Any questions for Mr. Riley on this item?
Where's the location?
It's just off of York Street, where the rail crosses on the north, just south of Shawnee.
Okay.
And on York.
Thank you.
Move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other questions on this item? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Item passes. Item number 4.
Consider approval of awarding the airport long-term parking lot construction project to J.E. Dirtworks in the amount of $79,860 as approved by the airport board, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Stewart's listed here, but I guess we're going to have Drew.
I start to say, Mike grew a little bit.
Yeah. Good evening, committee members. So this construction project, I'll give you a little background first, is it's a long-term construction project, or long-term parking lot construction project. Right now, we only have 7 parking spaces at the airport that are available, if you don't include the courtesy car parking. All of you all have been out there at some point, seen the parking situation. When you drive up to the terminal, off to the right-hand side, there's a gravel parking lot. It looks bad. There's several problems with it. The airport is, a gateway to the city. We don't want people in high-dollar jets driving over potholed entrance roads and gravel parking lots when they're leaving. It's just a bad first impression. Second, the gravel gets stuck in vehicle tires going in and out of the airfield, and then that becomes FOD, or foreign object debris, that ends up out on the tarmac and can damage aircraft engines and props. And then also this will allow a dedicated parking area for individuals, aircraft owners, and others who will be gone for several weeks. It'll be a separate spot for them to leave their vehicles so that our main parking lot's not taken up. We put this out for bid. The low bid came in from J.E. Dirtworks, $79,860, which was considerably less than the higher bids. This is about what we expected. It's a good price. This will be funded using the fiscal year 2014 CIP sales tax funds that are earmarked for airport development and improvement, and I recommend approval.
Well, Drew, I'm excited because we talked about this the other day when I was out there, and me and Mike told me that because I missed that meeting, he was telling me about what we were doing, and I was like, yes, it just balances our airport out when you pull up to it. I noticed that when I was sitting out in the parking lot the other day waiting for our airport board meeting, and I was going, man, if we just had that over there paved, it would make this whole area look like it's professional out here. And I was excited when I wasn't there at the meeting. They told me that they brought this up, so I was excited to hear about that. I want to approve this. Approve the item.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other questions for Drew? Well, I appreciate the work you're doing out there and what the airport board's doing. I just know that we're going to land something big eventually out there.
I hope so. Thank you.
Motion and a second. No other questions on this item. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston?
Yes.
Patrick Kale?
Yes.
Marlon Coleman?
Yes.
Wayne Johnson?
Yes.
Ivory Van?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Item passes. Item number 5.
Consider ratification of the bylaws of the Roxy Theater Community Trust as approved by the trustees at their special call meeting held on July 27, 2018, or take other necessary action.
All right. Ms. Stout was listed here, but you can fill us in on it, I believe so.
Unfortunately, I'm nowhere near as beautiful as she is, so I apologize in advance. I am the attorney for Oxford Productions, the management company for the Roxy Trust. We approved these bylaws at our special meeting last week. They largely mirror the bylaws adopted for the Martin Luther King Trust. We feel that's been very successful, so we want to continue that model. The only significant change is setting the terms for the board members. When the council appointed the board members, they did not stagger those terms, so we wanted to stagger those out. We talked to the various board members, and they agreed to serve for as they served. Other than that, it's a pretty simple, straightforward matter. Happy to answer any questions.
What is their initial staggering of the board members?
I think Mayor Coburn comes off first in 19, and there's one a year every year for, off the top of my head, I don't remember how many.
Okay.
We've got one, and that's Mayor Coburn's expiring 2019. We have 3 expiring in 2020, and 3 in 2021, and then 2 in 2022. Yes, 2022.
And Roy, I trust you've reviewed the bylaws.
I believe I wrote them, actually, yes.
Thank you.
Move the approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other questions?
I'd just like to say your grandmother's probably proud of you tonight for wearing that suit and tie up here.
Let me tell you, she is. When you see the mayor, since he's not here, she's still mad at him for not wearing a jacket every time. So give him a hard time for me, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston?
Yes.
Patrick Kale?
Yes.
Marlon Coleman?
Yes.
Wayne Johnson?
Yes.
Ivory Van?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Item passes. Item number 6.
Consider approval of the reappointment of Alice Smith to serve a 3-year term on the Muskogee Housing Authority Board ending on June 30th, 2021, or take other necessary action.
Counselor Coleman.
This is my reappointment. We originally appointed this individual 3 years ago. She served well and is excited and eager to continue her term, so I recommend approval.
Take that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any questions on this item? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Item passes. Item number 7.
Consider approval of the appointment of Reverend Leroy Walker to serve a 5-year term on the Martin Luther King Jr. Community Trust Center Trust Authority beginning August 14th, 2018 and ending July 31st, 2023, or take other necessary action.
Actually, on this item, Mayor Coburn was listed on there as his recommendation, but I do know that this was discussed at our last Martin Luther King Trust Authority meeting. So would there be any questions on that recommendation? I do know that
I would move the approval. I think we all
Second.
know Reverend Walker.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I know it was discussed at our last Martin Luther King Trust Authority meeting, and all of us know Mr. Walker. So we got a motion and a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Janie Boydston.
Yes.
Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Wayne Johnson.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Item passes. Then we have public to be heard, and we've not received any items from public to be heard. So that concludes our Public Works Committee meeting this evening. So we will be adjourned.